Mobility is always a hot topic within combat sports. Everyone trying to get more flexible, to be able to throw more triangles, get out of escapes positions, or quote unquote prevent injury. Not a real thing, by the way. Regardless, having some form of mobility training or being mobile is important for the sport if you don't have that range of motion. If you already have the range of motion and can do everything, getting more mobile probably isn't going to help you with your performance or help you reduce the risk of injury. However, I do like doing various mobility stuff just for maintenance, makes easy warm-ups, and can just make you feel generally good. So I'm gonna run through 10 of my favorite mobility exercises for combat sports, and it's gonna be a range. Some of them are gonna be more low level, I guess you could call them more dynamic, stretchy type, and the others are more, I guess you could say, slightly loaded. Remember when we're talking about mobility, we're talking separate from flexibility. Mobility is considered more active range of motion, being able to control the end range. Flexibility is more passive, where you aren't able to produce force in those end ranges. Obviously, we want to be able to produce force at the end ranges because it becomes more protective and we're able to use that range of motion. So some of these exercises will cause more structural change within the muscle and tendon because they're loaded at the end ranges. Some of them may not, but are good to use at the beginning to give you that extra, say, stretch tolerance to be able to do other things afterwards. Once I've gone through these exercises, I'll show you how to put them together within a routine and how it fits within a training session. But my first one is the squat to stand with a twist. This is a warm-up in most of the Sweet Science of Fighting underground training programs because it's just so easy to do. You don't need any equipment, nothing. It's good to do before a lower body session. You get the bottom of the squat, plus you get the rotation through the spine with it. Typically, I'm doing about 10 reps. And I will say that, not due to this exercise, but just generally with mobility, I've always been able to sit in the bottom of the squat position. I've never lost that because I've done continuous strength training, squatting full range of motion for many, many years. And when you do that, you develop the ability to get in those positions easier because you've trained it. Squat to stand can help you potentially get there so you can squat into that depth. May not help you get there, say, when you're cold all the time. Regardless, one you can use in your warm-ups and a mobility exercise that's just generally good for the hips and spine. Number two, the half kneeling windmill against the wall. I stole this one from Steve Pipe. He probably stole it from someone else as well, but regardless, Steve's been on the podcast a couple of times, so make sure you check him out. But half kneeling windmill against the wall is nice because your hips are locked against the wall and your knees, so that's the feedback you want to keep, so you're not gonna see any knee or hip movement to try and compensate to get more rotation. You're getting rotation opening over the front leg and away from the front leg. So you're kind of getting a double with each side, so you're getting more rotation than you usually would. You can do straight around with the arm, or you can do a windmill with the arm. I typically do about 5 reps each way and then swap sides. A really solid way to get some thoracic rotation done. Number 3 is around the world. This one is awesome because we spend so much time in these flexed over postures, especially within combat sports, that we don't spend as much time in extension. And this one just opens, it feels, honestly, just try it. It feels so damn good. You just use a band and you're just circling around, down and around, as you can see in the video, that it just loosens your trunk and your hips and feels really good. Number 4, the band shoulder dislocate. There's a couple of ways of doing this. You can just go over and back. You can do it with a wooden dowel. I like to do it with the band. It just gives you a little more movement so you're not stuck within that just holding a rod. Or you can do it more, I guess you could say, bigger circles with one arm. So you're going like backwards close to your head and then forwards close to your head with the other arm. It's hard to explain, but just watch the video. I show it there as well. Great way just to get your shoulders moving, loosening them up. Number 5, this is one of my favorite, you could say, quote unquote, core exercises as well. It's the walking power lunge with twist and also with the lean. And you'll find that if you haven't done these before, you will feel your obliques and abs pretty sore the following day. The goal is to be able to take larger steps, not lunge straight down, but take the step and you're gonna twist at the same time over the front leg, holding a weight. Medicine ball, dumbbell, you can even use water bags, which are an excellent way of doing it. And the same thing with the ball or dumbbell overhead, you're leaning over that leg. These are epic for general mobility, but also strengthening the trunk. Number 6, this is one I stole from Kelly Starrett many years ago when he was big on YouTube. Split squat with band traction. Now, you would do this, your tire band, you put it around the back of your leg, and you're essentially just split squatting, but the band is pulling your hip socket forward. Now, importantly, when you do this, you want to squeeze the butt cheek where the band is underneath, and you kind of want to tuck it under, and that's going to help lengthen the hip flexors and rec fem even further in this position. So you're getting a lot of active range of motion because you're going up and down, and an extra length in this with the band. So give that one a try. If you have funny knees, I would not do this as the first exercise. This might be a little further down. Number 7, the ISO or isometric Bulgarian split squat. When I had bad knee pain, I was doing this often. Epic for lengthening the rear leg, rectus femoris and hip flexors, but you're also getting an analgesic effect, or numbing effect of the tendons. Plus, I found that it helped retain muscle mass on the quads because you can go relatively heavy and you can hold for relatively long times as well. You can also do a body weight as part of a warm-up too. You can do it on your toes. There's many different variations and methods of doing the isometric Bulgarian split squat. Number 8 is the dumbbell pullover. And most people maybe think of this more of a bodybuilding exercise, but you get the stretch you get on the lats, having the dumbbell over your head there, you won't find much else to give you that loaded stretch. So it's something you can use as part of your warm-ups as well, or at the end of your session, typically with these stretching style exercises when you're already warm, work well. Number 9 for your neck, the iron neck left and right. I mean, I've talked a lot about the iron neck. It's the only thing that helps my neck pain and improves my neck mobility. The left and right is probably my favorite one. I literally only do 2 or 3 exercises with it and that's it. And that's usually the 360 spin for the isometric and then the left and right, which helps with the mobility, and you still get a bit of isometric on that too. You can do it looking away from the band, towards the band, or even just sideways to get the sides of your neck too. So that's well worth it. And the final one, no equipment needed, is the 90-90 hip internal and external rotation. Again, we need hip internal and external rotation for all combat sports. So it's a good one to do just to be able to grease the hips. Now, in terms of putting this in your training routine, what I like to do and what you'll see in the Sweet Science of Fighting Underground programs is I'll typically do a quote unquote mobility circuit as the warm up. So instead of going in and doing 5 minutes on the bike or treadmill and then come in and doing everything else you're doing, you can get the same effect or better effect because you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, picking 3 exercises and doing them in a circuit format. Get your heart rate up, get sweating, plus you get a lot of this work done. So for example, you could do squat to stand with twist, and then you could do a half kneeling windmill against the wall. And then you could do, say, around the world or a band shoulder dislocate. And that could be a 3, repeat that through 3 sets with no rest. That's how I see this work being done best. It gets you ready for the session that you're about to do. For the more stretch-based exercises, you can do those at the end of your session. So say you've done your strength and power training, and you might finish with, say, dumbbell pullovers or some kind of light isometric Bulgarian split squats. They could be like an accessory circuit at the end for mobility. Exercises that are loaded like the isometric Bulgarian split squat can be done as a main exercise, say before your heavy lifting. So it could be doing 1 to 2 sets of 20 seconds, heavy isometric Bulgarian split squat bottom position, and then you're moving into, say, a couple of sets of heavier squats or whatever it is, and that warms you up nicely too. So these are the 10 that I often use myself and often have in the programs. Obviously there's a lot more you can do, but all of these are very basic and simple, and that's what I like, is you don't have to go set something elaborate up to do it, or you don't need to try to learn something new to be able to get the most out of it. You can just go straight into these and you can start to feel a little more mobile through key areas from your combat sports training. But if you like this, please make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.